welcome to Jeremiah Creek. We're trying with one microphone because one of our microphones is broke, so sounds
Sorry.
Yeah.
Whoops. I can't help noticing, Dave, that your beard seems to be frayed in frustration this morning. Tell me, what's your problems?
We're smart guys.
I mean, between the two of us, we're at least one smart guy.
We're smart guys. But occasionally in life, you do something so ridiculously stupid.
All right, I just want to make sure I get everything in place for this, so I'm comfortable. I feel like this is going to be a good one.
I have to light my cigar.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so you asked where my truck is, my brand new truck.
First thing I did when I saw you, I noticed your truck wasn't outside, displayed proudly in all of its redness, its crimson glory, like it normally is. And I couldn't help but notice that your answer was given in a tone of great dismay, Dave. Ladies and gentlemen, his face is pinched in pain before he even speaks.
Oh, it's bad. Occasionally you do something extremely stupid and extremely expensive. I put gas in my truck.
Oh my God. Oh, Dave. You're not the first person who's ever done that. So
for those of you who don't understand what I mean by that, it's a diesel truck.
Oh fuck. How far did you get?
I was in Milwaukee.
Oh Jesus
when
Christ.
I put it on. When I put gas in there. And I mean,
how far into putting the gas into your tank were you before you realized what you were doing?
I drove back from Milwaukee. I drove it around for 2 days and took it into the repair place yesterday.
Holy shit.
They pulled gas out and they said, hey, there's gas in this. I go, no, I filled it up with diesel. And they're like, well, we're looking at gas. And I'm like, my first thing was, those motherfuckers at the gas station put the wrong gas in the tank because I was absolutely sure I put diesel in that tank. And they said it's going to cost $2,300 to fix.
Oh, goddamn.
So I was like, wow, I ain't paying for this. So me and Annie got in her car, drove up to Milwaukee, found the gas station where I got gas to complain about it because I figured it should be big news. I didn't see anything on the internet. And I get up there, and it turns out I fucked up.
Oh no.
It's just the way that... Okay, if you've never driven a diesel truck, and by the way, I'm smart, I've driven diesel vehicles before. I used to have a diesel truck.
Yeah.
When you go to a gas station and you're going to get diesel, diesels are usually separated from the other. The way it is in Chicago is you can get one pump, and one handle has gasoline, and then the other handle has diesel, usually marked in green. And it's separated from the other. It's like one side has gas and the three choices, mid-level, whatever, regular, high test, and the other one has diesel and it's green. So I pull in the station, has diesel. I pull up to the pump, has the pump separated like that. But when I got back there and looked at it, it's separated by, it looks the same as it does in Chicago for a diesel pump, but it's not. It was all gas. And then the diesel pumps are in a whole separate area.
Why would they do that? That's so fucking dumb.
Yeah, maybe, but it also is real dumb when you pull up there and I'm looking at it and going, holy shit, there's a little thing. I put it.
So you were on autopilot.
I put in ethanol. I was on my way to a Santa Claus gig. I had plenty of time. The only reason I stopped for gas is because I was 15 minutes early. I had plenty of time. I stopped after I put gas in the car. I pulled over and drank a cup of coffee. It was, and like my wife was there when I got the phone call, and I'm flipping out. No fucking way I would do something that stupid. And we drove up to Milwaukee to find out that I did do something that stupid.
Okay, but it wasn't entirely stupid, Dave. You were kind of operating on the standards that you're used to, right? I mean, it's separate. I bet what happened was.
But when you go up there and you look for the diesel pumps are marked. They're completely separate pumps. So the difference in Chicago is that they're the same pump. Up there at this gas station, where it was a Quick Mart outside of Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin, the pumps themselves, the diesel pumps, are completely separate pumps, and they are marked with diesel. And
so where's your truck right now?
It's at the repair shop. I took it back to the dealer thinking that something was wrong with their inspection. When I took it back, I thought.
Okay, what was what's it doing? What happens when you put gas in the diesel?
Misfire. It was misfiring, and I was not low on gas, so I had over half a tank of gas when I put this.
So it's kind of a mix. It's a slurry.
Yeah. But they're saying I got to replace the entire fuel pump, and what made it almost worse is my wife was very understanding. And so was my daughter. My daughter was like, well, anybody could make that mistake. I mean,
Why does that make it worse?
I could see making that mistake. And when my daughter said this, my daughter says we met up for dinner after I got back from Milwaukee last night. And I'm just like, I can't believe I did something that stupid. That is so idiotic. And my daughter goes, well, it's not like it's never happened before. It's a mistake people make. I could see myself making that mistake if I'm not used to it. And all I could think about was, if you made that mistake, I would be furious.
Yeah.
As furious as I am at myself right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, I got home. I went downstairs. I'm looking through my comprehensive insurance policy to see if there's some way I can make the insurance company cover it. No, it's all me. And I came back. You know what I did? I swear to God, with my wife. When I said this, my wife's face. I came back upstairs and I said, "Listen, I got to say, I'm sorry. This is going to cost us a lot of money. We have extra money that we have right now that we were like, look, we're finished with all our Christmas shopping. We have a little bit of extra money. We can do something. We could have taken a trip. We could have done, and I mean, all my Santa Claus money. That's how much I made. That's how much I made this year doing Santa Claus. It's $2,500, and that's what it's going to cost."
Damn.
I was so pissed.
Did you set up your Santa Claus thing as an actual business?
I mean, I do it through a gig thing.
I wonder if there's a thing you can do there.
So right now I'm waiting for my normal repair place, because since it's not covered, the dealer. I'm hoping that my normal mechanic will charge me less than the dealer will. I'm so pissed.
I'm torn between calling you a complete fucking idiot and commiserating with you, because I've done it too. So
You've done that?
Well, I put diesel into a gas truck.
Well, that's really hard to do. I mean,
it was in the 80s. It wasn't that hard to do. Yeah, it was.
Because nowadays, that's the thing too. Is for those of you who've never driven a diesel truck, the diesel pump is the hole is.
No, I did the same thing. I put gas into I put gas into a diesel truck. That is what I did.
Because the diesel pump is bigger than.
I didn't know it was a diesel truck. That's why I did it. You know?
Well, that I can understand, but oh my God, I was so. I'm still so pissed. I just cannot believe I did something that stupid.
At least it's easily repaired and no one was hurt.
Well, the only saving grace is that right now I have the money to repair it. I mean,
but it's wiping out
2
your Santa
years
Claus
ago,
money.
Yeah, it's wiping out. 2 years ago, it would have been. I would have probably had to get a loan. Hell, 1 year from now, I might. I paid in full for this car. I wonder if I could just return it.
You're gonna have to. You have to double down on Santa Claus next year, man.
Yeah.
You have to do twice as many gigs to make up that money. Isn't that the way it goes though? When you have a windfall, it's like the demons know, man. The world goes, hey, I noticed you had a little extra money. Let me fuck something up exactly that much.
It wouldn't bother me if. I mean, it would bother me, but I wouldn't feel so bad if it was something like somebody slammed into it or something while it was parked. But
yeah,
just because I did it and there's no one to blame.
Yeah,
that's hard.
But let me get it straight. So they had their gas pumps, but they had the one extra pump separated, just like they do in Chicago, and then the diesel was over here, and you thought that one separated one was diesel. Why would they have that one separated one?
Up there at this place anyway, they had a pump for each regular, and they had a separate pump for each type. They had a separate nozzle for each type of gas.
Okay.
So you pull up to a regular gas tank, like here, and really most
one
places,
nozzle,
it's
yeah.
one nozzle, and you press a button. And up there, it was separate nozzles for each different type of gas, and then whole completely separate pumps for the diesel. So you look at it this way: you have, when you pull into a gas station, you pull up to a pump. The nozzle is attached to a hose. That's where the gas comes out. So they had completely separate pumps for diesel, and each type of gas had their own nozzle. And like there's two nozzles on one side of the pump and one nozzle separated on the other side of the pump, which is how we do it in Chicago to separate diesel.
And the separate one, right? The single one is diesel.
Right.
You know what? I bet it used to be all gas. I bet it used to be diesel there a long time ago, and for some reason they moved their tanks.
Yeah.
And they separated the diesel for some other reason.
Probably.
That's probably what happened.
Yeah. So I'm still
You just following muscle memory is what you were doing, man. You're in autopilot. That's an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but I think it's a super easy mistake to make, man. I bet you're certainly not the only one from Chicago that's gone there and done that.
I don't know. Well, it's killing me.
I know for a fact there's a lot of disabled kids that learn how to drive their diesel cars and happen to stop there in Milwaukee and do they've done that too.
Disabled kids.
Yeah.
Mentally challenged people.
Yes, mentally challenged people from the home. Sometimes when they're learning how to drive, they give them diesel because it's better for the environment. And
I'm just talking
well,
about
ho,
it.
ho, ho, man.
Yeah, it was my fucking Christmas. And today I gotta go have fun and see Cirque du Soleil.
So, that's awful. I'm sorry for you. So, you got the truck, and you've been working so hard to get all this Santa Claus stuff. You would never have put the diesel in your truck if you didn't have a Santa Claus gig in Milwaukee.
If I wasn't
Because
early.
you wouldn't have been up there for any reason. There was no reason for you to be in Milwaukee, except
Right.
you had a Santa Claus gig.
Yeah, and really, if I had not been running early and had to,
Right.
and
If you'd been normal, Dave, and you're 5 minutes late,
I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I got some time. I got half a tank of gas. I might as well buy some gas up here where it's cheaper than go back to. If Illinois' prices were a little lower,
yeah. So it's really the state's fault, Dave.
it's J.B. Pritzker's fault.
That fucker. You should sue him right now. Goddamn liberals. Fucking woke
But the
ass.
fact is, when I went back up there and looked at it, it's marked.
And that's a 2-hour drive too to find out you did it. Goddamn, son.
And my wife was putting comedy on to try to make me not feel so bad, and I was not laughing.
How long was it before you did laugh? I mean, you just now laughed a minute ago, so.
I mean, now it's gotten to the point where it's like now I'm just like waiting to see what the final cost is going to be and how long it's going to take. That's the other thing. The dealer said it's going to take 5 days to fix, and the repair place is like, well, it'll take a day or two. Well, I'm not sure how long it'll take to get the parts. So, and I'm just waiting for them to send me. Hopefully, their price is less than the $2,500. I mean, I would assume that dealer prices are always higher, right?
Yeah, because they're like a union shop in a way.
And I called them. When they called me and they said, yeah, what do you want to do? And I said, you know what, I'm waiting for my normal mechanic to give me a price because since it's not covered, you know, then I don't know if I want to pay prices. So they were cool about that. I mean,
Somebody should invent dumbass insurance.
you know what? I wonder if, like, I did not buy an extended warranty because I wanted to get it through my credit union, which I have to call, and I wonder if an extended warranty would have covered this, and I don't know if it does because it's dumbass driver error.
We need to invent dumbass insurance,
Yeah.
and we market it to wives. I can see the commercials now. It's you and me in like a lawyer room, but we're not lawyers. Like we're talking to women. Is your husband a dumbass?
Well,
You need insurance.
do you?
You're not a dumbass.
I felt I don't think I've ever, without prompting gone, I have to apologize. This is such a... And she's like, well, it's not like we haven't made mistakes with money before. We had some work done on the house. We hired a guy who ripped us off.
Yeah.
We lost a lot more money than this. That was 20 years ago. And,
Is that Brian? What's his name?
no. But, so, I mean, yeah, she was real cool about it. And she was just like, well, maybe you can, if you're that worried about it, you can figure out a way to make the money back. And I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll do some part-time gigs or something, just so I can.
Start up. Santa Security.
I could do some security jobs just to make a couple $1,000.
I mean,
Work for the zoological police department for part-time.
say what?
I got offered a job.
Say what?
I got offered a job. Listen to this. Brookfield Zoo, Zoological Police Department, which has
Take that fucking job.
full police powers.
What?
I had no idea there was a zoological police department in Illinois.
I'm seeing like a zebra in handcuffs. I'm seeing a lion pacing in the cell. I didn't do it, boss.
No, it's like, I thought they were security, but they're not. They're actual.
Hey man,
Licensed
Disney
police
has a police force, and they're for real cops.
That's the first thing I thought of was
Theme park cop.
yeah, and it's like, and they have legitimate police powers too. They're
Yeah.
real police officers.
I can confirm.
I didn't know we did that though. I know the colleges do. So like Northeastern has their own police department. I knew that.
So
And
what's stopping you from taking a job as a zoological cop?
I'd have to trim my beard.
I mean, that ruins your Santa gigs.
Yeah.
So
So next year I'll
now
have
you tell them it's a religious thing. Tell them you're Mennonite. Show up in a carriage.
Do Mennonites have long beards?
I don't know. Being racist, man.
Culturally insensitive, not racist. What's your new? That's your new Christmas gift?
Yeah. So
Not quite as good as a nice bottle of bourbon, but
no, it's not. This is they're remarkable too. There's pencils on the side there. Try it out, man.
so it's like you write on it like, oh yeah, oh wait, it disappeared.
Oh, it might be on the eraser. Tap the pen symbol up at the top.
That's the eraser.
Yeah, that's
Oh wait, I did something fucked up.
That's a image. Please don't draw on it. That's art.
I did something wrong.
Oh.
But it does feel like paper.
Yeah, doesn't it? Oh, yeah. I know why it's disappearing because it's. What have you done? What did you do to my
Broke it.
Dave? What did you do to my
I
thing,
can't
man?
touch anything.
Goddamn, son. It's. I have to reset the whole thing.
I still haven't gotten.
Fucker.
Keep checking my phone because I'm waiting for them to send me the estimate from the repair place. They were supposed to do it before noon.
I cooked for 16 people. Vegan. There were 2 vegans, 2 gluten-free people, and 1 corn-free people.
Corn? Why corn free?
She's allergic to corn, so she claims.
Wait a minute, corn's in everything though.
Yeah, no shit, Dave. Try cooking a meal for 16 people and not have corn in it somewhere in America. Jesus Christ, was that a pain in the ass. And gluten-free. And she's a bitch about it, too.
Oh yeah.
Fucking bitch about it.
You mean like doesn't understand why people don't understand?
She takes it to the nth level, right? Like, she needs to read the labels of the stuff I cook with. I can't just tell her, yeah, that's corn-free. She goes, well, I'll need to look at the label. And I'm like, well, you can dig it out of the fucking trash. You know? Like, you can believe me or starve to death. And I went to such lengths, too. She still made it a pain in the ass. And I was so careful. But the vegans, it was a triumph. All right? A triumph. Because I just made half the appetizers were vegan appetizers, and all of the sides were vegan. And then I made them their own main course that was vegan. And they were like, holy shit. And I had dessert for them that was vegan. Out of all those things, I managed to do that too. I fucking killed. And I cooked a turkey and a roast beef at the same time. Made baby Hasselback potatoes. You got to do this. All right, it's Hasselback,
I like those, yeah.
but it's the little bitty ones. They're only this
No,
big.
Hasselback, isn't it where you cut them part way? And
You cut them into like a fan.
Yeah.
But instead of a regular sized potato, I did baby potatoes.
Wow.
So they're like bite size. And I baked them first, right? And then I set them aside. And then like about 5 hours later, I put them back in again. So they were parboiled, really. And oh my God,
I love Hasselback potatoes.
literally disappeared. Like I didn't even get one. Disappeared like that.
We made honey baked ham and spinach lasagna. I slaved over a hot line at the honey baked ham store and at Natalie Italian store to get that.
That's the way to do it, man. I wish that I did that instead of.
All we had to do was make sides, appetizers, and
I cooked for 3 days, man.
here's a question. All right, so it's sort of an "Am I the asshole" type of thing.
We were gonna do that. Now we're there.
We had an extra guest.
I put gas into my diesel. Am I the asshole?
We had an extra guest who was staying with my sister-in-law, who we've known since she was a kid, so it's not a big thing. But at the last minute, like a couple, 3 hours before they were showing up, they called and asked if they can bring 2 other people who were members of her family
Who?
who have never met.
2 other people.
And it
Not a
wasn't-
date, but 2 other people.
2 other people, 2 other family members of hers that didn't have anywhere else to go. And I said, no, I don't know them. I know her. She's fine.
Yeah.
I know her.
Plus, I mean, you have food for exactly the number of people that.
We would have had enough food, but I really I buy extra ham so that I can have leftover ham.
Yeah. So they would be eating your leftover ham. That's like you using your Santa money for gas.
I'm never going to live that.
We'll now take a moment while Dave uncurls his beard again.
But yeah, it was, and so
What were your appetizers?
I basically said no. I mean, I said, I really don't feel comfortable.
How did they respond to that?
They're fine. They didn't come. They said they were going after dinner. They were going over to visit with them. And I'm like, all right.
So it wasn't because they didn't have anywhere to go. That person was just trying to consolidate their visiting.
No, well, maybe. But also, okay, while I don't know this person, I do know one thing about them. At some other event, they had gotten into it with my niece discussing politics. Based on what I heard of the incident, I agree with his politics. And my niece is young and, goofy liberal.
Is the
type.
poet?
No.
Your niece, the poet?
No.
Oh, okay.
In-law niece.
Okay.
And so that did color my thing. I don't want anybody you're coming over. I don't want. First of all, we don't discuss politics anymore because we no fights, and I don't want somebody to be uncomfortable because somebody they gotten into an argument with before was there, even though they were the ones.
Because they would have to say something. They would have to either apologize or acknowledge it. There's no way they could sit with that.
No.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think I'm the asshole for saying it.
No, you're not the asshole. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Bringing a date, like if they said, hey, can I bring a date? I think that would be okay. That would make some sense, right? But like, hey, my family doesn't have anything to do. Can they come? It's like, yeah, if they cut the yard, I mean, that's a different thing, right? I had a couple of people kind of like, hey, I'm not doing anything for Christmas. I'm like, well, I hope you have a good day.
Well, we did. We had a friend. We had a friend of my wife's who was not planning anything because she has a family with a sister with a medical problem, and originally her plan was to spend time with her, but her sister's just not in the festive spirit, so she wasn't going to do it. So I was like, well, come over here. But again, that was a close friend.
And plus, it was your choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't, there's a lot of people, I know a few people that are just alone a lot of the time, and 2 of them were hinting strong, like, hey, because they knew, because I was talking about how I got to cook for 3 days for 16 people, and I'm bitching like I normally do, and they're envisioning this Norman Rockwell kind of thing. They don't understand that we're talking about, pagans versus sci-fi freaks versus a giant 6-foot trans person. They don't realize what they're getting into, And I'm like, I got enough going on. I don't need. And plus, we do presents, and like, then what would I do if they don't have a present?
One thing is because it's my last Christmas in this house. The kids on their own decided that they were going to stay over Christmas Eve, which was fine. We watched a Christmas movie. They played they played board games we went to sleep at 11. They played board games and they said they were up till 4 o'clock in the morning. And
screaming, yelling?
No, or at least they didn't wake me up. I don't know. But so it was a lot of fun. And then when they got up, now my daughter's significant other, who is referring to himself as future son-in-law.
Really?
Although he hasn't asked anything yet. He made a comment again this Christmas. I actually, for a second, I walked into the there was this. So my sister.
This is Michelle's boyfriend, right?
No,
yeah. Julia.
Yeah. So there was at one point where. Okay, so my wife asked my sister-in-law to bring a couple extra chairs, which she was worried we wouldn't have enough chairs, which we ended up did. So this was pointless. But my sister-in-law is nuts. So my wife's like, "Hey, you got a couple of chairs you can bring just in case?" She's like, "Sure." So she shows up, and her sons are carrying their dining room chairs, and she didn't have
folding chairs.
She didn't have folding chairs, and my wife didn't specify folding chairs. So my sister-in-law, just being helpful, just brought her dining room chairs.
Well, I mean,
laughing about
it was accurate.
Yeah, and it was kind of funny, but one of them was loose. It was shaky. And so my son and my, I guess, future son-in-law decided they were going to just fix it, So they were asking for an Allen wrench. So I walked in the dining room with an Allen wrench. And Jesus was on his knees by the chair. And I'm thinking, Jesus, I just walked in on a proposal?
This is it.
And then, no, he's fixing the chair.
Nobody gets on their knees anymore. Well, actually they do. Those Instagramming weirdos do.
I saw one, speaking of Instagram things, you ever see those videos where the kiss cams at like basketball games and crap?
Yeah, and then they're like there with their date.
Yeah, well,
their cheating date.
There was one guy, like the first guy on the kiss cams, it pops up. They're all, people around him are yelling at him. He doesn't notice at first, and so then he notices, and so the woman next to him, he leans over and he kisses the woman next to him, and then at the end of the kiss cam thing, they come back to him. And his girlfriend is handing him a beer and sitting down on the other side of her.
Oh, man.
I thought that was hilarious. I wonder if she figured it out.
One day he'll be watching that game on replay.
Well, now it's a video on YouTube, so.
Oh, man.
But, so that was, it was a nice thing, though. So they ended up, my son got a new cat, which I thought meant he wasn't going to stay over.
Wait a minute. We need to go back. I need to hear more about the kid who's claiming to be your son-in-law already.
Oh, well.
What's he doing there?
Well, I don't know. They're living together, so. But I'm like, I told my kids, I said, I told them, I never thought I would say this, but at this point in time, in this society we live in, there's no reason to get married until you're really ready. There's no harm.
When was that ever?
I don't know. When I met my wife and we thought, okay, we're going to get married and then we'll have kids and then, buy a house. That was the
boomer dream.
Now it's like,
sorry, Gen X dream. I don't mean to reassign your generation nomenclature, buddy.
But, so, I didn't want to be there no matter. When you have kids, when you buy a house, when your finances are so intertwined, then, then it doesn't. Then you might as well get married because either breaking up is going to be a problem.
I think about that sometimes. That, like, I look at my son, and when I was his age, I had a kid and a house, 2 cars, a job and a half.
Yeah. Same here.
No, I'm not complaining about it. I'm just like, I think that every generation since the greatest generation ever has extended adolescence pretty far, and I think it's going to hit like 30 pretty soon. I think people are going to be adolescents up until they're 30. You know.
Well, I'll tell you what though, I never realized like medical insurance and stuff, and I have a pretty healthy gene pool. But
Pretty wet.
Pretty healthy gene pool. We don't get sick very often.
Yeah.
But when my son started approaching 26, I mean, I was glad that they can stay on my insurance as long as they can. That was one thing
Thank you, Obama.
Yeah, that's one thing I really, I'm really grateful for. But because man, even at 26, you start getting worried. All right, man, you got to get insurance.
Yep. Said that to my kid too. I'm like, you gotta get out there and do something. He's like, man, I'm never gonna get sick. I'm like, fucking, like I'm gonna be paying for this shit. I know it.
All right. So what else? What else we got?
I just want to say that you have to be careful at Christmas because I accidentally started a new tradition this year because as an homage to our trip to Scotland, and because all the people that are on that trip were going to be there, I made haggis, and it was fucking good. Like I did a good job. It was like everybody. It was
so
delicious.
it's going to be an American tradition now.
Now it's a Garlington thing. I got to make haggis every fucking year.
We had I had a topic ready to go.
Hit it,
that
man.
I wanted to, but now that my wife was so cool about me wrecking the car, that I hesitate. But I was coming up with a new board game because board game was a topic of discussion because they were all playing board games. They were playing a game called Pandemic.
Yeah, we have that game.
You know, and you think I didn't think nothing of it when they started playing it because, of course, we've already gone through the plague a couple years ago. But the game came out in 2013.
Yeah.
Talk about prescient. But anyway, so I decided to develop a board game called Misogynopoly.
When you sent me that, I was like, what the hell what is going on, man? That is so I mean, you got a target market for that.
And it's not massage as in getting a massage. It's massage as a misogynistic.
Right.
And basically what it is it's a picture Monopoly, but you just come up with basically misogynistic comments. Like, instead of going to jail and having to roll double in 3 turns, or you sit there for 3 turns unless you roll doubles, and then after that you can move. In this case, instead of going to jail, you go to the kitchen. You have to cook for everybody. And so for 3
sandwiches.
turns,
strictly sandwiches.
the number you have to roll is the number of people playing in the game. So if it's your 2 people, you
So fucking
roll
weird.
2. And if you don't get it in 3 times, then you can move on. Something like, instead of passing go and collecting $200, you got through your monthly cycle and you collect $200 for that.
God damn, Dave.
And so instead of paying taxes, you have to pay $50. You pay income tax, pay $50 to the bank. In this case, it would be you found a 50% off deal on $100 shoes, so pay $50 to the bank.
God damn.
And people started to get into it. We were coming up with other stuff. It was all good fun.
I think you should do it. There are print-on-demand things for board games.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, there really are. You can do it. I have a friend that has made one. I've looked into it. You can definitely do it, man.
All right, so I'm gonna look up. I forgot to do this beforehand, so I'm doing it after. There was another topic I had. I sent you a cartoon, and I want to put it on the screen for anybody who's actually.
Oh, I can't believe anyone was confused about that.
Well, hold on, I'm still confused, but I think I know what it is because I googled it. But
there's a thing on Reddit called Peter Explained the Joke.
Really?
Yeah, and that's what it do. People put memes that they don't understand up there, and then one of the moderators explains what it is.
Let me see if I can add this.
Dude's asleep.
Images. Okay.
I don't want to say anything because I don't want to be like those influencers at the gym, But still.
All right, so
there's a lot of empty chairs here.
So if you're listening and you're not watching this on YouTube or something, there's a cartoon up on the screen, and it's 2 guys with backpacks and walking sticks, and it looks like a Far Side cartoon, but it's not. But it says, one guy says, "This is it. The map says we've reached the North Pole." And the other guy says, "Not what I expected. It's not even that cold." Wait a minute. And he looks at a mailbox. There's a little red house in the distance, and looks at a mailbox that says the Jaworskis.
Come on, we're from Chicago. We know exactly what that is.
Okay, well, somebody posted it, and there was like thousands of comments, and there was two that seemed reasonable to me. Now, what was the one you first?
It's a Polish person that's really far north. That's it.
The farthest,
it's the North Pole.
The farthest pole. That was one of the things.
Yeah.
The other one was that
Can't be anything else.
This guy looked it up, and I thought this was just so cool. This guy looked it up, and then I looked it up on Google to make sure it's true. There's a town in Alaska called the North Pole, and there is a family named Jaworski that lives there.
Oh, okay. So that's
North Pole, Alaska, and there's the Jaworskis from North.
That's really specific. I mean,
but I looked, and it's not a. It's the guy is not a local Alaska
that's just
cartoonist.
Weird.
He's a famous cartoonist. He's what's his name? He's from Texas.
That's just weird.
Scott Scott Hilgum or something like that. He's a famous cartoonist. So yeah, I figured. Yeah, you're probably right. It's probably just the person who's Polish who lives as part of this.
But that's a hell of a coincidence.
Yeah.
You know, maybe he just read about that. You know, and I don't know. That's pretty weird.
Right. So,
and I thought it was like okay, like chuckle funny.
Yeah.
So you know, I told you there was one person who like was kind of strongly hinting that they would love to come over for our Christmas thing. Because that was at Christmas Eve. I was at somebody else's house, and that's where this person was. The reason I didn't want him to come over, right? They were fine. He's a good guy and everything. But his dad joke game is ceaseless and lame.
I love dad jokes.
No, okay. Just imagine like dad jokes that actually aren't good. Like they're not dad jokes. That's just his humor is redundant dad joke humor. So when he says something, it's not funny, but he expects you to laugh because you both recognize that it's not funny.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's funny once.
It's funny once.
Yeah.
That's all. That's like how he communicates.
It's a joke's like, where do you take somebody who's injured in a peekaboo accident?
Where?
The ICU.
Fucking hell. Worse. Not even that funny. So he's an okay guy. He's the guy that invented the most complicated board game I've ever played in my life. And it was I think if you finally could internalize the rules, it would be fun. But you literally, in order to play it, would have to have him there to explain everything constantly.
Yeah, we got a board game years ago that was like that, where it was so complicated that you literally had to read. You had to do homework to get it.
Well, there are a lot of, board games. Nerds are really into board games, and nerds are also into research and info and stuff like that. I tried to invent a board game called Control Freak. That was basically the board was only seven squares long.
Yeah.
You could never win, and every turn it just meant you had to read the rules again, and it would add things to the rules and take things. Every time the rules changed, you had to reread the rules out loud, and you had to designate one person as the control freak. And I made it up just for my wife. She loves board games and she loves rules, man.
Did she like it? Did she like the game?
She does not think that idea is funny at all.
Oh.
So I did. The reason I know about the on-demand board game thing is because I did invent a board game for based on the stuff I wrote for Attorney at Work called Fear of Mingling, and the board game. The whole idea is that it's a real stupid game that you play like at a convention, like at a break-off thing in a convention, and the whole purpose is that it's a game, so you have no real stakes. But what you're doing is you're going through all of the things you should be able to do as a person who's good at networking, like recognizing when you can approach people, like telling people your elevator pitch and all that stuff. And it's for people that are actually terrified of networking, which is a lot of people.
Yeah,
and I just
especially now.
Yeah, right. Which is I'm actually going to pitch that as a column to them this year. But the cool thing was that it comes with business cards, So everybody gets 5 or 6 business cards, and the idea is you have to, every time you do something that's successful with other people, they take your business card, and the first person to run out of business cards wins. You know, and all the business cards are completely made up jobs and made up people. Like, you know, one guy's a boat pointer, just points at boats. There's one. And a woman is an "oh no you don'tist." No you don't. Complete. One guy is, my favorite is a guy that's a touchdown dance choreographer.
You know, I've been watching football lately. There's a lot of those. I wonder how much these new touchdown or interception things where the whole team goes down and does some dance.
I haven't seen that, but yeah, I mean, it's gotten out of hand.
Yeah, you know? It has. And I'm like, when do they practice this?
I think there might actually be touchdown dance coordinators. I think that might be a real thing. I think, you know, I thought I made it up, but I mean, some of these guys, you know, part of football for some of those guys is also celebrityness. And when you reach that level of being a celebrity, there are businesses associated with it to help you get better at being a celebrity. And I bet you anything there are touchdown dance choreographers. I bet you there are.
I want to be one of those people whose job is to, when they make movies and shows with nudity, their job is to make everybody comfortable with it.
No. I want to be the guy that makes everybody uncomfortable. My job is just stand there and go, oh, yeah. That would be fucking great.
Yeah, so
am I the asshole?
I like that. Those am I the asshole things.
Let's do one now.
I don't know. I don't have one. I don't think at the top of my.
Let's do New Year's Eve. Am I the asshole? What would it be?
These guys still haven't sent me I sold a picture yesterday.
Get the fuck out. On Etsy?
Oh, am I the asshole just popped up.
What's the question?
Am I the asshole for telling my friend that I am not interested in being her son's father figure after she rejected me?
No. What?
Well, here, let me read you the thing. I have this family friend, Lily. She had a crush on her. I had a crush on her when we were in our early 20s. I asked her out on a date, but she rejected me, saying she only sees me as a friend. Oh, I'm done. I got that speech.
Yeah, we have been there.
It hurt a lot. It hurt even more 2 weeks after my proposal when she started dating some other guy, her ex-husband. But I decided to move on. I did date women, but I lost interest in them. I also lost touch with Lily. After 8 years, we met again, and we reconnect. I decided to stay friends with her. She told me about her life. She has been divorced because her ex cheated on her and then abandoned her and her son. I was sympathetic towards her. I decided to shoot my shot again, but she told me she was not interested in dating now. She only wants to focus on her and her son. That hurt a lot. Imagine being rejected by the same girl twice. But this time I decided to be mature and maintain a friendship. Even if she decides to date another douche, it wouldn't bother me. Now, a few days ago, her son got into a fight with some kids. They were making fun of him because his dad left. He had bruises, and according to Lily, he had been very moody. And then she asked me a question that somehow pissed me off. She asked me to talk to her son. Yes, when we started bonding as a friend, I also hung out with her son. She asked me, since I am a man and probably went through bullying.
What is that?
And an absentee father, maybe I can give her son some insights on how to cope with it. She says she understands her son's frustration and that her father abandoned him and the family. Maybe having someone like me who overcame that frustration and managed to deal with it will help him. I told her no. I do not want responsibility for her child because I'm not the father. We're not even dating.
Yeah, he's...
So asking me to have responsibility is out of the question. I can tell she was mad. Later that day she texted me and said she doesn't want me in her life, that she wasn't asking me to provide any child support. She wasn't asking me to take responsibility. She only asked for help because she thought as her friend I would help her out. And even her son liked me. I shared this with some of my friends. Some of them called her a gold digger because she's a single mom. Some of them told me I was rude. I should have just talked to her son. So what is it? If you're going to be friends with somebody, I think he is the asshole, kind of.
I don't know if he's an asshole. Yeah, maybe he's a little bit of an asshole. But you know, when you first read it, I was like, yeah, she's the asshole. But now I'm like, you know what? If she's been clear with him, all right?
She's been
She
upfront
didn't
and
lead it.
honest.
She doesn't sound like she led him on or anything like that. She's been very clear. And he was like, maybe I've got a chance, maybe I get a chance, maybe I get a chance. Well, no, you dickhead. And if you say, well, I'd love to be friends with you like that, then part of being a friend with somebody
Just helping them out.
yeah, if you came to me and said, hey, actually, you have come to me and can I help out Nate? Fuck, hell yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I was like, let's go. Of course, I mean, you would never date me.
No.
I'm in the friend zone with you forever.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Whatever. I think I'm hot. But, I mean, and she wasn't asking. That was a moment she needed some help.
Yeah.
You know, she
And
really
either you're, yeah. If your friendship is dependent upon you getting some, basically,
Yeah, that's
which
not a
is what makes
friendship.
it sound. Yeah, you're not.
yeah, he's an asshole.
I think so.
And
I don't understand
she's
how-
dead smart.
I don't understand how his friends think she's a gold digger. She's not asking him for any money. She's not
Yeah.
pretending to be
Yeah.
his girlfriend.
Well, a lot of people on the internet are real fucking stupid. Where was I? I was on Reddit the other day, and I forget what I was reading. But it was, you know, I get so, my insomnia is so bad. And, you know, I can't fall asleep. And then when I do fall asleep, I wake up 2 hours later and I can't fall back asleep. Today, I was up at 8:30. I was up till 8:30 in the morning today.
Wow.
It's fucking ridiculous, you know. It's like I worked a night shift or something. And so I try not to scroll on my phone because I know that exacerbates it. But for 2 hours, what am I going to do, all right? So I'm on my phone, I'm reading Reddit, and I'm scrolling and I realize I am trying desperately to be entertained by essentially 12-year-olds.
Yeah. Or other people's problems.
Yeah, I mean, I want there to be an age limitation, all right? I want to know that the people that I'm being entertained by are adults and
Yeah.
not like insane, bitchy little 12-year-old edgelords, you know? And I have developed this reaction now that when I pick up my phone, I've trained myself to think, there's nothing here for you. So now, lately, I'm able to, I pick it up and I go, no, and I put it down. I'm getting pretty good at it, man, but...
I don't have a problem when I like reading, and I mean I'm reading a book that I really like on my phone, but I don't have a problem like if it's time I start falling asleep, I just put the phone down. You know, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm falling asleep, that's not hard. But if I'm up, it's hard for me not to be scrolling through my phone because I don't have anything else to do.
Yeah.
And then the moment I think to myself, you know, I'll just get up and go downstairs and work, the moment I think that, I'm exhausted. You know?
All right. Well, we're at 48 minutes, and we don't even know if the microphones are working.
I know it's going to be just buzzing. It's going to be
So-
all his stuff. It's just his stuff that's going to be on the thing right here.
All right. So we'll try and do this again next week if we have 2 microphones working.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with this thing.
Thank you for joining us at Jeremiah Creek.